3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Young CDO Socratic Dialogue, Chief Data Officer. We talk of digital transformation and we say the world is going digital. But is digital just about buying a domain for 99 rupees, launching your own website and, listing yourself on Instagram, listing yourself on Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on? Or is it more than that? How do you use the power of data, the new oil as we described it over the last 20 years? How can every business use the power of data? And how can you work from data infrastructure all the way till data intelligence is what we're going to be discussing today. And we have two very exciting teams who picked up very interesting themes for discussion. So on this note, I'd like to encourage my fellow participants to go ahead with your introductions. Who would like to go in first?
We'll go in.
Yeah, Nikhil, please go ahead.
So yeah, we are analytics Avengers. So why we chose this name is because all three of us are coming together to help digitalize the company, and yeah, so that's why we choose this name.
So Nikhil, what do you do at Unique Biotech?
Yeah, I am a data science intern at Unique Biotech. Me and Sharon work in the same team. We do production planning for the company.
Okay, so Nikhil is a data scientist at Unique Biotech. Welcome, Nikhil. Who's going next?
Hi guys, this is Sharon, and I also work as a data scientist intern in Unique Biotech.
Okay.
Hello everyone. So my name is Akansha. I work on sales intelligence with the Unique Biotech. So we are trying to bring lots of intelligence to our sales right now. We have lots of data everywhere, but nothing to make use of. So that's why we are trying to bring a meaning to the data that we have as an Avenger.
Welcome, Akansha. Yeah, who's going next?
Hello everyone.
Hi, no, okay, go on.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Saurabh. We are Team Data Spinners. Why this name? We'll get to know at the end of our presentation. Okay. And what do? I am a psychologist by my education and currently scripting the culture of data ecosystem with the help of data. Thank you.
Yeah. Over to you, Lisa.
Hi everyone. My name is Lisa, and I'm behavioral data science scientist in Deep Thought in Winning Culture Lab.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Who's going next? Yeah, Gaurav, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gaurav Dahal. I'm involved as a behavioral data scientist in Deep Thought. Thank you.
Yeah. Coaches?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Myself, Sean. So I'm a leader and a software developer at Deep Thought, and I'm the coach of Team Analytics Avengers.
Okay, thank you, Shavan. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Shabun, a deep tech contributor in Deep Thought, trying to incorporate emotional intelligence into data science. So I'm the coach of Data Spinners.
Okay. And hi everyone, I'm Tarun, your moderator for the day, and hope I can make sure all of you have a lot of fun today. So which team wants to go in first with your pitch?
We can start, I think.
Okay, Team Data Spinners, welcome to the answer box. Yeah, you guys can go ahead with your pitch.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. So, hello again, everyone. We are Data Spinners, so we will be starting our presentation. So, today we'll be talking about data intelligence system to drive an IPL team. In this system, we will be talking about our ability to gather, analyze, and make sense of data in order to gain insights and make informed decisions about player selection, team strategy, and performance optimization. And with this, we'll be getting answer like this system will be providing us answer for questions like what decision we want our AI to give us. So for that, we'll be looking at this individual player performances, fitness, collaboration, and from this, we will be getting AI decision based on substitution, player 11, training plans, and so on.
Okay, so But to do that, we have to gather some data insights. So why they are important? Data insights help us gain a bit better understanding of what's happening in our team and what decisions should we make. Without clarity, we won't understand what to do in the future. But how do we get these data insights? We get these data insights from data informatics. Metrics that help us make sense of raw data and understand what exactly is happening. Like by Compass score, we can understand that Rohit and Kishan play together good. So we should put them together in the further matches.
How do we get this metrics? We get this metrics with the help of simple inferences. Inferences like who scored the most runs, who draws in the most number of people in the stadium, and what can be the business significance of this question. So IPL team is also about winning the game, also about the brand value. So who are those players who can drive that brand value? Yeah, and to gather in this data, we require infrastructure. We have certain data to answer this question, like who bowl how many number of overs. We can get that data from simple match scorecard or venue details, like how many people attended a particular match and who batted on which position. This data can give us data like inferences.
We are data spinners. We spin the results of games and the fortune of your game, where the I begin. So that's our pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team Data Spinners, for a very exciting presentation. You may stop your screen sharing now. So over to Team Analytics Avengers for your questions.
I'd like to ask. You guys are collecting data. So it's based on the previous data of the players and how they perform, like various metrics. But as we all know that in IPL, there are entirely new players who come in the IPL and play. So like what metrics or and they have limited data. So how are you like taking that into consideration? Isn't it forming like a bias because you don't have that much data about the new players and you have a lot of data about the old players?
Got your question, Kiran. Back to you, Team Data Spinners.
Yes. So Sharon, to answer that question, all these players that come into IPL have played certain matches in their domestic cricket as well. So that against some players that data may not be available, but in which condition and at what batting position or at what number of overs they have bowled, from that data we can gather this informatics.
I have a follow-up question for this.
Sure, Nikhil, please go ahead.
So now assume you're picking a player for an opening position. Okay, there's one guy who's coming from the domestic circuit and one guy like Rohit Sharma. And Rohit Sharma hasn't been in form for like one certain amount of time, and the domestic player who's coming has some great records. So Rohit Sharma, now everybody knows he's a good player. But what if your AI system will select? What if it selects domestic player in place of Rohit Sharma?
So can you go over that question?
So he's saying what Rohit Sharma is a better batsman in the international scene as opposed to this domestic player. But Rohit Sharma is currently out of form and the domestic player is in form. So what if your AI system picks this domestic player who's in form over Rohit Sharma, who's usually considered to be a very good player?
And also, can I continue? Because IPL has, sorry. Yeah.
Let them answer it and you can go back with the follow-up. Yeah, please go ahead to the question.
Yes. So there are other metrics rather than only performance. Can in the particular match performance about for example, how many matches does Rohit Sharma require to get out of form? That can be one metric. And another metric, team is, as we mentioned, team is also about the brand value. So the Rohit Sharma plays a crucial role to the brand value. So that particular metric will also play a crucial role in making the decision.
Yeah. So
let Nikhil go in and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah. So you guys are focusing on making a great team which will win the IPL, or a team which are you more focusing on a brand value focus?
Yeah, Gaurav, please.
Okay. So the main focus of our, like Saurabh told, like we will be looking at different metrics, not player statistics, as well as what are the
But
influences.
can you answer his question, please? Is your
Okay.
focus to win the cup or is your focus to increase your brand value?
Yes, our focus is to win the cup, increase the brand value by winning the cup. So the main priority will be to win the cup.
Back to you, Nikhil.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, so
No,
in this case,
Akansha, before you come in, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Saura, I don't think you answered his previous question then. What if your AI recommends some other
Yeah.
player over Rohit Sharma?
I would like to add on to Gaurav's answer. So to win the cup, you need not win all the matches. You may lose some and still win the cup. So
No, you have not answered his question, Keith. What if the AI chooses this young domestic player who's in form over a player who's a proven performer but currently out of form?
yes. So in that case, as I mentioned, we also have a data of how many matches would a would a proven player require to get into the form, and what brand value the player may add to the current match, the existing match. So that would also, these two metrics would decide the decision, make the decision.
Okay, would your AI make decisions or would your AI recommend?
Recommend the decisions.
Does that answer Nikhil's question?
Yeah, actually, yeah, okay.
Okay, does your AI recommend or does your AI give options?
Actually, I had a question in this regard.
Sure.
So now your AI recommends you a team of 11 players, right? But your coach of the team, who has been seeing players from a long time and has been coaching the team, knows the player in and out. Like AI is only based on math, statistics, whole data. So now if in a team in a team of 11, which is suggested by AI, if there's difference of opinions between the AI and coach, what will be the like?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gaurav.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So in that case, data would not, our AI system would not require only 11 players. They would require probable players who can be a good match, who can be a good team combination in particular situations. It will recommend, not give the exact decision. And on the basis of that, team management can take decision which 11 can play and which can sit on the bench.
Okay, so coaches have the upper end, right? Like whatever your
Yes.
coach says. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say you had a question.
yeah, so the question was only who will be the final, verdict, like the coaches, what part will coach and the captain play here, and how much will be the data valuation, how much value will you give data as compared to the coach and the team captain, because they would be able to evaluate more metrics and maybe even like empathize, emotional intelligence, so many things which then the AI might not do.
So I think I got your question. So as Saurabh told, the AI recommends, and then we, according to those recommendations, the team and the captain and the coaches, they come together and make strategies according to those recommendations.
Yeah. And also in our system already we have considered emotional aspects, and we would like, as we know, like no data can be perfect, so we would keep on reiterating our data and our matrices to what we can say, to address these concerns as well. Like what if there's a conflict between the coach and the data or the AS.
So if you're measuring the performance of the two people, let's say from the Virat Kohli and maybe Dhoni, how like they have different captaincy style, right? So how would the AI be able to evaluate that, and it will be able to come up with the differences that they are there, and find out the captaincy styles and whatnot?
Can you please repeat the question, or like what do you mean exactly?
Different captains have different styles of leading, right? So would your AI adapt to them?
We are actually working not at performance, but we're working at the overall impact of each player. So they have different styles. We'll analyze the different styles later, but when making suggestions, we're also looking like overall impact on the game.
No, but
Do any?
see, one particular captain might have a strategy of going very strong in the initial period. Another captain might have a strategy of playing slow and laying a foundation in the initial period. So what the kind of openers which one captain would want and the kind of openers the other captain would want would be different. So is your AI going to adjust to the style in which that captain wants to, lead the team?
Yeah.
How?
Like we thought about having like different parameters that they give like input of what they're expecting, and based on these inputs, AI system can generate suggestions.
Akansha, does it answer your question, or if you have a follow-up, please go ahead.
Because the players also perform differently with every styles. Might not and perform different with whoever the captain is. So if I know how Dhoni performs, will the AI assist me in choosing that kind of people who work, according to his style and Kohli's style? So that is what I do.
So yeah, please.
All three.
Okay. Sorry, you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So here our impact score, which is like how much impact a particular player has on a match. This one impact score, and another would be combo score, like how two players play together. For example, let's say I am a captain who wants
I got her question. Her question is: some players do well with the style of a certain leader, like say Shardul Thakur usually did well when Dhoni was the captain. So how would your AI deal with this, right? I mean, how a player would do under the leadership of a certain captain?
Okay. Would that not be considered under our combo score then? Like how two players play together?
Combo is when two bowlers bowling together or two batsmen playing together, right? There's more of, let's say you have Owen Morgan as a captain. He has the modern 21st century model of cricket, right? Which is aggressive cricket, player-owned cricket, which is how we won the trophies for England. So if I'm a batsman who's a fearless batsman, let's say like Livingstone, I might do well under a captain like Owen Morgan who encourages me to play fearless natural cricket. But if I'm under a captain who wants me to, play carefully, I may not do that well. So how would your AI factor these elements of the leadership style influencing the performance of a player? That's Akansha's question.
Okay. So in that case, let's say I'm a leader. Okay, and I want to make a decision that I want my openers to be very strong and very hard hitting. So here also my impact score and the insights that I can get from my informatics can help me. For example, let's say as we take example of Livingston. In which conditions Livingston performs better?
It's not conditions, no, it's about the leadership style. Every captain has a different leadership philosophy. The teams play as per that philosophy. Every captain has their own style of leading. So the way the team performs can be affected by that style in which that leader leads his Akansha's argument. How would your AI adapt to this?
Or to add to that, let's say I know I know who the captain is of that team. Can I program my AI to select those people where these people would perform, better in this leadership style?
Okay. Here maybe our emotional score, like which helps in understanding the emotions of particular player may help in like.
Saurabh, again, I'm not sure if you're getting her question. It's like Gaurav might perform really well under Shravan's captaincy. Gaurav may not do that well, say, under Lisa's captaincy. And say Shagun does well under Lisa's captaincy, may not do well under Shravan's captaincy. So if you know that the captain here is Shravan, you might want to prefer Saurav and Gaurav.
Yep.
You know the captain is say Lisa, you'd probably want to prefer Shagun.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is like, okay, let's say Shravan and Gaurav may not go together well. Okay, I understand from the data, but there might be some certain emotional reasons, okay, emotional or some other reasons. Can we capture that with the help of our insights and provide certain learning drills to overcome them?
No, okay. You're saying if there are differences, will help in overcoming. But my see, the performance may not be affected only by differences. That leadership style itself can influence some positively and may not influence some positively. How will your AI even understand this? That this kind of a player is likely to do well with that captain, not likely to do well with that captain. How can your AI pick that up? That's a question which still remains unanswered.
Okay.
We also have emotional score and relevance score.
Wait, may I? Oh, wait, okay.
Sure.
Well, like, may I try to answer this question? Like we mentioned, we also coming up with training plans. While training, things like this player works not so good under this person can be also relieved while training. So by analyzing our training drills, we might come to conclusion. Or like, I mean, this is probably not the thing that AI can capture. Like. But we can, but since AI doesn't make all the decisions from us, we can use data that we gathered by AI and come up to conclusions ourselves, because AI here is.
The question is, can your AI factor in the influence of the leadership on the player? Yes or no?
Probably no. From my perspective, I don't think that is possible, because we need to have data on.
I don't like listening no as an answer. And as
Okay.
a computer scientist, I just don't like that even more.
Okay.
See how we can find it. So I have a question. Has this player played with at least 10 captains?
Yes.
And do those 10 captains have leadership styles?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So are you having some data to infer how that player would play with this particular captain?
Yes, and then we may want to add another metric there, like how a particular player performs on the particular leadership style. That metric we may want to.
So did Akansha add to your data infrastructure?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
So is it a nested data that you're collecting or standalone data that you're collecting here? Is it interwoven data or standalone data that Akansha is asking you to pick? How is it interwoven?
Like, because like I was asking you to repeat the question because I didn't hear what you was.
It is interwoven, as in that interwoven, right? Stitched together.
Yeah. Okay. It's stitched together because like okay.
Because the leadership of the captain affects the players, so it's interwoven. So that's why
it implies that style of leadership impacts how a player performs, and the way the player performs affects his performance score. So yeah, it's I can say the word correctly. Sorry.
Yeah, it is interwoven, like, because I guess like it is not only like player performing under a particular captain, but what exactly improves or like goes down under particular player. Like, does the batting average goes down, or does the strike rate goes down or improves? Like, so there would be multiple data sets that may improve or may decrease. So yes, it is interwoven.
Okay, back to team analytics Avengers. If you question. Sharon,
I have one.
Okay, Sharon can go in. Nikhil, you've got quite a few chances. Even I have a few chances. We both will shut up now. Yeah, what you Sharon?
So your AI recommends like 11 players to play in the beginning of the match, but there are so many factors like which happens like weather condition, it rains and the ball will spin more, and that bowler or that batsman might not be able to perform that well. So like, how does your AI like accommodate this, like the unexpected events which happen in the match?
Like, we can have data for weather and forecast and everything, right?
Yep.
Then I would like to say, like, what if a player gets injured? You can't predict that.
That's the thing. You answered by this question by yourself. We try to make a prediction. We're not trying to predict future to the moment. We try to make the most possible like the strategy that help win us. There's the thing about prediction. It's not also
Valid point, but her question still remains unanswered. Her question is, what do you do when unexpected variables come in? What do you do?
So yes, our system is designed to give us recommendations, right? So instead, in case of that uncertain scenario, it's the best option that we have, that it will give the best possible recommendation.
I'm the coach. I understand it's just a recommendation. I'll go with my choice. But as the scientist who's developing this AI, what do you do when you encounter these unexpected variables?
Okay. So when we encounter this unexpected variable, for example, rain, rain, or there can be multiple situations that may arise. So can we have data for these parameters also? Because rain may not be the first time that it happens, or dew, for example. Dew is also one factor that may happen like due to weather conditions. So this may not be factor that happens for the first time. There might be some data, and like this data, like in some measure, Duckworth-Lewis method is also applied.
It's added to your data infrastructure.
Yes, and because here what is happening is why does performance go low or high due to unexpected situations? Because emotional, like they may not be able to stay stable emotionally. So can we consider that factors also? Because when pressure situations, how they perform, right? For example, we may not have the rain, but how they perform in under pressure at particular situations, that data we still may have. So that can assist us here.
Does it answer your question?
Yeah, Sharon, you can go ahead with your follow-up question.
No, I wanted like the clarity on like what specific parameters like you would be taking, like performs well under pressure is just it's like a generic.
Yes. So we have certain metrics, Sharon. One of the metrics is called as impact score. Okay. So what impact does a particular player have on a match? Okay. So and that for that metric, let's say if to understand if the player performs well under pressure or not, we can consider while chasing a score, the run rate was about 10. When the run rate was about 10, how well the player performed and how was the score in such situations. By analyzing that data, we may get to know that how well the person performs under pressure.
So Sharon, his argument is, if you have an unexpected variable, that unexpected variable also has historic data. So you bring that historic data into your data infrastructure. So now it's no longer an unexpected variable because it's now come into your system. Yeah, I have one last question before we close this round. So we saw a lot of discussion around the data infrastructure, around the inferences you're drawing, and possibly some informatics. But what's at the insights layer? What is the kind of insights that your AI is capable of churning out?
Okay. So within that also we have multiple layers within insight, like what kind of insight we can get. For example, if we mix our impact score with our emotional score, okay, like impact score is again like how well a person performs under pressure. Let's say in last over, there you require opponent team requires 5 runs to win, right? And you are whom to give the last over. That's the question we have. There our combination of impact score and emotional score can bail us out. So this is the layer we can have there.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Saurabh. Now we'll move to Team Analytics Avengers for your presentation.
Yeah, so hello guys, I'll take you through the presentation.
Can you do full screen, please? Can you do full screen, please? Doesn't seem to work. Slideshow full screen. Yeah, awesome. Works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikhil, please go.
So we are creating an intelligent sales system, which does something like predictive analysis to predict future sales, the trends, and how it goes, and also outreach. Because the system is like in basically our company does probiotics. We are a pharma company. So yeah, outreach and follow up is basically asking potential clients required questions, like efficient and effective communication is required. So that is done by intelligent sales system. And also in forums and all, people will be in need, or they'll be posting about probiotics or something, or strains are basically a raw material which is used in probiotics, and they'll be writing it out, or they'll be posting photos. This helps us to like uh, get those people, like get in touch with them and make them our potential customers. And also user behavior research, like now I'm in talk with a potential customer, and he tells me that he doesn't he's backing out from the option of buying from me because of some reason. I don't know if that reason is true or false, is bluffing, or is like telling the truth. So this helps me to analyze if the reason given by him is valid or is just, yeah. Next. So the insights which we have observed is our sales of our gummies. Basically, gummies, tablets, and supplements are called as formulations. These are increasing. So in formulations, we have put raw materials called as strains, which is one of them is Bacillus clozy. So if sales of these increase, then obviously the sales of, like, we have to manufacture more of these strains. So yeah, this is the first point, and this is what we gained from that. And during certain seasons, certain products go more. During those seasons, we have to be ready to manufacture. We have to be ready to take on those orders without any delay before the demand goes out. So that is what second point tells us. And basically, there are many products in the market which are of same which does the same thing, but we have some of the patented strains which might help us get an upper hand. And also we have strains which, when added to products, here we have taken an example of jams. So if added to that, it'll improve their shelf life, and it can basically withstand temperatures and all. So yeah, that'll help us gain competitive advantage, and basically it makes our customer happy and he'll order it more. I'll pass it on to Sharon.
So coming to data informatics, so what metrics are we using to like investigate the impact? So this Bacillus clozy, it's like the patented strain. So we are using this in like gummies and capsules and supplements, like which are called like formulations, and it's in very much in demand because of this particular strain which is being used in that. And we are also tracking like the probability of the sales, like for example, that this product, COVID-19 product, will be selling high in the next quarter. And coming to the third point, we are also tracking like the product competition score for every formulation, and like even if the competitors like what they are selling. And coming to the fourth point, the revenue impact score. So we are like, I mean, our company has many products. So for each formulation, like each product, like what is the revenue and the impact which is creating. And moving on to the next one. So the data inference, the questions the data would answer. So like this particular patented strain of ours, Bacillus clozy, like it's used in most of our products. So, and coming to the second, like during winter, so it's like the inference which you are getting. So during the seasonal change, like immunity is compromised for a lot of people. So you need immunity booster. So this 9 green, our product, is selling more because of that. Like it's because it boosts the immunity. And third, we are also like tracking formulation score for the competitive advantage. Like, okay, what our competitors are putting out there in the market. And for the fourth, the Bacillus clozy, again, a patented product. Like they play a major role in the overall revenue because like it's used most in our products, and that is one strain which is very unique to us, and our competition doesn't have that. So I'll pass it on to Akansha to take on forward.
Yeah, so data infrastructure, how do we get all these insights and how are we going to perform this analytics? So, collection of the data sales that we get of the products on the monthly basis. Also, the competitors graph, what competitors are doing in the market and mapping the products throughout, which is getting sold most. Also, what are the formulations of all the products? What is the basis of all the each formulation? And is there anything that a particular formulation is selling for more? If a certain combination has most demand and so on, and even tracking the inventory, because sometimes we might manufacture something else and the demand could be something else. So we want to track that and don't reduce our wastage. So we also track the inventory so that we are able to produce the product that is in demand and not reduce our wastage. So we want to bring sales intelligence to help the businesses to make not only informed decision but also be able to drive growth and innovation in the environment. So thank you. That was a presentation.
Thank you. Over to team data spinners for your questions.
I was a little confused. Can you please explain? Can you please take us through the difference that you consider between informatics and inference? You're on mute.
Informatics, the numbers, from the insights, that the information that we are getting, in metrics is we are getting in informatics, right? And through that we are inferring, like, if this particular in this season, if this sales, then we have to increase the production of this particular thing. If this tablets or gummies sale in this particular season, then the chances are this would be in demand. So that's how we are inferring from our information.
But that data can be that in that particular information you can infer from, like, raw data also, right? For example, you have a certain amount of, like, there is a increase in certain products, so you may want to produce them more in upcoming months.
No, the raw data might not be that useful because the segment itself is very specialized. So we won't be able to do that. So only through, we have to find insights like why this. For example, let's say, we go to the medical shops, there are certain drugs which sell a lot, like a point of context that, we have. So from that is what gives us, like, this is selling a lot, so that we need to know if this product is selling so much. As a, like, manufacturers of the strain, we need to know whether if this is selling, what are the material used in it. So we draw the inference, we only raw data.
Sorry, what's the last thing you said? Only raw data
Will not help here.
Okay, so what are so the example that you give, what are the variables that goes into to derive comment that matrix, that particular matrix?
First is the selling of the not raw data but secondary and tertiary products. For example, it's not a strain that is selling most, but the capsules or supplements or demand of the season that is coming, and the season, let's say it's winter is coming, there'll be change in season and immunity is compromised. Then that is the data I want to infer. It won't be like I'll sell this product. So I need to be prepared through that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what matrices are you using to gain customer insights and to identify their behavior and preferences?
Oh, sorry, come again.
What matrices are you using to get customer insights on their behavior and preferences?
Anybody wants to answer? Okay, so we are tracking the, for example, users, like, as I said, this is specialized field altogether that we're dealing with. So there are particular, forums and social media where people talk about the subject. There'll be a specialized a page where people talk about it and forum about it. So that is where we pick up the data of your users, and then accordingly we read their behavior.
So if that's the case, I think maintaining customer trust and having business goal, balancing that customer trust and balancing the business goal, how are you trying to balance
So,
those two stuff
Yeah, so
if you're collecting data?
So we're collecting data, as in, these are open information that's available in public domain. It's not something I'm losing, their trust here. So by gathering the data, right? It's available, but I can so somebody talks about that particular strain that I already deal with, or maybe somebody has the complete product for which I provide the raw material. So that is what we listen to, and we understand how these products or this raw material is used, and how are what it is that people asking to, if the people want to buy these products, uh, what information and what kind of a trust they would require, because whether it is where it is coming from, what is the company's credibility, if those who is providing them, so these information they would need, and I'll be available here there to understand that and provide those data. For example, let's say I can say I have a patent of this product, right? I'm in this market for like 23 years and I have gained some credibility. These are the big large companies, those who are here, and I'm dealing with it, and they can have given this reviews. So that's how I'll be able to deal with it.
Yeah, and on basis of customer trust, which you're talking about, when people ask something on forums, and if another customer of us who has come across that question replies it with like whatever, if he's used it and if he writes a review of how good that product is, there, like we'll gain the trust of the customer right there, right? Like that was the question.
Okay. I have like before. Sorry, Lisa, I'll. Yeah, I have a simple question. Can you please to understand? You're trying to. Yeah.
Okay, we produce good bacteria. If I can
Like
say
product in case like what we are trying to achieve here, or company does.
Okay, so sorry, let me add some context as a moderator. I'm sorry for being absent. You guys were doing so well. But yeah. So basically, there are things called strains, which are like useful bacteria or good bacteria, which Akansha called. So Unique Biotech makes this good bacteria. So somebody who's making a gummy bear, or is making a jam, or is making some kind of products out there, I don't know which products, the different products we consume, they add this bacteria into their products and sell it to us. The companies make these gummy bears, it's not, I mean, they can't make that bacteria themselves, right? So they buy the bacteria. It's like how a restaurant buys carrots and tomatoes from the farmer or from a grocer. The guys who produce these edible food items, some of them buy these good bacteria from Unique Biotech. So they want to bring sales intelligence system which helps them sell more of their bacteria to these companies, which will use this bacteria in their products and thus do more sales.
Okay, so it is B2B mostly.
Yes.
Yeah, and also like we even sell tablets, like finished goods also, not just strains. We call it formulations.
Okay.
Yeah, like tablets, capsules.
And is that to the end consumer or only to companies?
Companies, their own companies.
So it's purely B2B.
Yeah, it's purely B2B.
Okay.
Okay, we finished on this question.
So, but you told me you.
Okay.
So,
I was
okay,
coming back to question that was before that about you talked about credentials, like how users will be sure that we are good, right? You talked about it. You mentioned in your intelligence system that you want to have user generated content, right?
Yeah.
So what are metrics to this content? What you exactly metrics for this user generated content? Because you talked about sales, but you didn't say much about this point of reviews, feedback, and so on. What metrics and insights from you can gather from that?
Yes, nice question, Lisa. Thank you for that. So, how, as I told, we are dealing with, there's something very specialized product. And so we don't have much of information about it. We can just can't Google it, and not anybody would be able to answer this. So that's why, there were particular forums, and as I told you, we get it from there. What we want to listen, like for the formulation, what people are talking, those information, how many times this name has been used, in what context they are using it. Is there people are becoming like really health conscious? Let's take a example of a woman health, right? So that is an increase and demand. So how much of women health, women have become aware of that, and because of that, has there been increase in any supplements in recent days, or maybe people in like during pandemics, the demand of people had become like this aware about their health a lot. Even people were using a lot of this. A protein way, right? So there also these stains are used. So have these, people are talking about these products or no? If they're talking, so I know my stains can go there. So these are the informations, I'm trying to gather so I can, collect those information. And
Akansha
put
will
that
keep
into-
her responses short so it can go to and fro.
Yes.
Sir, does that answer your question?
I have follow-up question to that.
Or-
So she said,
wait. Okay, Lisa, does that answer your question?
Mostly, but I still don't understand what exact metrics to get that information. Like, do you have any system to
Got your
this
question.
reviews?
Got
What
your
is
question.
this?
How will you get that information? Back to you, Akansha and team.
That
user information we are gathering from forums. Okay, that is where we are getting it. Social media.
Got it. Back to you, Lisa. Does that answer your question?
yeah.
Okay, back to you, Saurav.
okay. So you mentioned that people got more conscious during pandemic. Okay, women like want to prefer more like more like bacteria, more of your products.
These are
Okay,
the examples, yeah. So this,
Yes.
let's get the insight.
Yes, these are examples, but you are B2B, right? So how would you understand your customer here is a business? So how would you understand their behavior here? When you say consumer behavior, your consumer is business in this case.
So, my consumers are making these products, right? So what end consumer is demanding will what my consumer will sell, right? And only to produce that, I'll be able to supply those, raw materials. So that's how,
Now, Akansha, the question is, you mentioned you will study user behavior research, right? Or why your customers are rejecting you. So what do you mean by that user behavior research when your customer is actually a company?
yes. So here what we mean basically, it's a B2B company. So the dealing is like on a larger level, right? And it is for it's for a longer period of time, the relationship. It's not one time go. So that's why even if you go, stage 3 or stage 4, people might leave and may not tell exact problem why they're
Who are
leaving
these
us.
users? Who are these users is a question.
Are the users, those deal with supplements, those who manufacture, or
When you say those, who are these people?
let's say pharma companies.
Your customer.
No, I know. Pharma companies, nutraceuticals people, those who deal with pharma, nutraceutical, and food.
Now, who are these people? Who are these people? You're talking of
the companies. Companies are.
Wait, are you talking of behavior of companies or behavior of people?
A company drives with the behavior of people, right? Like what
Okay.
these company pages are talking. And
So within that company, someone might make the decision, right? So
yes, because only
who's that decision maker? Like who that we are asking?
marketing team.
Why marketing team would decide like what to buy?
Marketing procurement, marketing, a company, right, is having a campaign that
No. See, you are doing user behavior research to understand why people are dropping out or why people are buying from you. So that you understand why people are buying and you do better marketing, and those people are dropping out, you understand why they're dropping out and try to improve. Now, who are these people? Are they the marketing guys who talk to you and decide what to buy? Or are they procurement people, or who are they?
So mostly decision makers, sorry for that. Decision makers like, the owners of the company or the procurement people or the sales people, the business development people. These guys
Why would
are the
business
ones,
development people decide the bacteria to buy?
because, they have sales target. They are the one who directly deal with us. So if if the rates are not good and not meeting them and they are able to procure in the, let's say price with somebody else, then they would do it. Also the, research data, research scientist here, because as it is a specialized product again, they also have a lot of say in the decision making. So we better need to, if the scientist has any problem and if he's saying the formulation is not good, then accordingly we need to understand like what's wrong and what's we are missing in the formulation and work on that.
Okay, does that end the thread?
So I still have a question, like
Go ahead.
the data that you're gathering, like when I asked about how would you maintain the customer trust and the sales goal, then you guys talked about gathering customers info through forums and stuff, places, right? So yeah, suppose okay, and you're supplying it to another business, right? Based on those information, you're supplying your product to another business. So what sometimes like for this business there can also be like uncertain moments, right? Suppose people there are no any requirements, like, and then you won't be consistently providing the business with your product, or there will
Sorry,
be
the
like,
last point, like, okay.
will there be a consistent flow of your product to business, or it's just based on you would go look at the individual user and then you'll go contact with business and then supply your product?
No. So in this case, the companies whom we are dealing with end consumers, not us, right? So we need to know if there is this trend in the market, right? The end users this is what the end user preference is, and my customer deals with that product, right? Has that offering. Okay, then he'll be asking, I'll be supplying to him. And obviously, because even who I am dealing with, they'll have their own intelligence, right? Why they need to know. They also have a competition and they also have to be in the market.
Guys, to like, I know like it's been confusion is happening. To clarify, it's like we are strains, we produce strains and the tablets, we are selling it to the companies. That company is selling it to the end users. So, I mean, does this
Yes,
clarify? Yeah.
I understood the supply part. I wanted to know how the data that you're using, because the data that you're using from suppose, okay, this single individual customer, right, that you're getting the data and then you're again going through the business to provide that person with your product.
So if I am working in like I have people those who are taking these products, right? Those who want either formulation or stains. As much as it matters that what season it is for me and how the trend is going. It matters to them as well, isn't it? And they also have a requirement. Maybe at times they might not know, but I can pitch. This is how this thing is happening. Your competitors are doing it. Going to sell this. These already. So you want to be ahead of the competition? Maybe do that. We can suggest. This will give us an advantage. Even to pitch for the product they don't have. For example, let's say somebody. There's a pharma company. They might not have gummies line of probiotic. But I can always pitch to them as well. They might convert, not convert, maybe like after 2 years, but I can do this pitch and it is going to be beneficial to them as well. Right? So, but this will bring me the intelligence, that this company is a potential company or maybe become in future, I can pitch it to them.
Okay, so what system would you bring in to, like, let's say you said you may pitch and it may turn out after 2 years, but as a sales team, that's not how we are measured, right? So what would you do? What system would you bring in to make sure that your sales happen faster?
You know, okay, there are so one thing we will do is, first the people don't know about they can do it. It's like, which we call it in the switch new, we're trying, it's like something new thing we're targeting. Who the target audience itself might not be, willing to. So that's why in this particular example, it could be a long process. That's why, we'll rather than, trying to make it a shorter, we'll rather give them, do the follow-up again and again. The more follow-up we do, they first make them aware and how they are going to benefit. This will be our strategy here. And for doing that, we'll automate the emails and the, our research papers, or somebody is talking good about us, we'll try to direct that to them and why it is beneficial for them also.
What role data is playing here?
Sorry.
What role data
plays here? In achieving whatever you just described, what role does data play? Open to all the three, anyone from the team can take it. So you said you use user-generated content, you do proper follow-up, you nurture them carefully, you divert them to certain things that people are saying about you and so on, and eventually lead to closure. So what is the role that data would play in executing all of this?
So, every stage we are gathering some data, how the person is behaving, right? How the customer is behaving at every stage.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean by behavior?
Can you give an example as this question?
Okay, let's say we'll continue with the previous example itself. That pharmaceutical company doesn't have this gummies line, and we want them to introduce that because the competitors are doing it. Now, let's say first when I informed them, they were not very aware of it, right? But now I have put them into consideration mode. At least they know. They are not totally convinced. The first, I know, they are for any company who wants to introduce some different product altogether, it won't be easy. This is the data for me. So throughout the process that I go, second, I tell them, this company is making so your competitor has this line and they're making lot of profit through this. That is again second data, and I want to know whether this has convinced the customer or not to introduce that particular gummies in their offering. So these are at every point I'll be able to take their data and will be able to implement. If we're trying to do for the next potential customer, we can have some data from here.
This would be, I guess, this would be raw data that some person.
Yeah, these would be raw data eventually, which will turn
into. What metrics? What would be the metrics? What kind of metrics you want to have from them so that you can draw more intelligent insights?
Right. Good question. So I would want to, first of all, I would want to know why these guys are not having it. That would be the one metrics. The reason being already their other products are doing very well, so that's why never they thought of it.
Why are they not having? Is that an insight? Is that a metric, or is that a
insight? That is insight.
Is that a insight or a inference?
Do you get it out of your metrics or do you get it out of your data directly?
Even if first time I'll get to know through the data, through raw data, what they're dealing with. Sorry.
Through what raw data you get this information?
Through their product line, whatever they're selling, that they're offering. So I get to know that although they're in the pharmaceuticals, they don't have this line. So that's a raw data that I gone through.
That's an inference then, Saurav. From raw data, she can directly infer it.
Yeah, another thread I want to start is, you mentioned in the discussion that there are long-term relationships in the B2B business, in specifically your business, right? So what, as the sales intelligence team, what would be your strategy for existing customer and a new customer?
Yes. So for existing customer, what we would do is provide based on the how has been our relationship with them, right? So there certainly be different improve their let's say users demand, like at any point has it been that I've been delayed their product in delivery? There's something like that. So how has been their experiences dealing with us? I've tried through the data I track and try to improve their experience with the company. That data I track.
Okay.
Customer
That
satisfaction.
Yeah, so that is what we will work on with the existing customers. With new customers, what the technique were initially, as it is a big company and there's a lot of price sensitivity, then might be I start with that technique, switch technique with the pricing model, which this company at least can afford, and then eventually draw them to a user experience and satisfaction.
And also, like, sorry to interrupt, and also if a new business is coming in, they'll just not directly buy our products, they'll buy a sample first. So they'll buy it, they'll test it, and if they are okay and satisfied with it, then they'll like go on. Yeah.
Okay. So in this, like, how can you bring in data to, like, in a way you are like what you can say, marketing to both kind of customers. So how would you use data to bring in intelligence that the same kind of information can you market to both kind of customers?
Sorry, this.
Okay, in a way to make to influence them to buy your product, you will be marketing them, right? Like,
Yeah.
Even though they are your existing customer, you are in a way marketing them, right? So with the help of data, how would you like decide which can be that one particular information which can be marketed to both existing as well as new customers?
Good one. So, we will talk a lot about our product performance here, which we can talk a lot, and which would what any both to need.
Can you elaborate on
Okay,
product
I would
performance?
want to, in the interest of time, I would want to stop this dialogue here, but I hope all of you had a lot of fun. And I'd like to utilize the time for a reflection. I'd like you guys to reflect on your process so far, and how has your understanding of data intelligence changed right now. I'm sure you guys started with a 5-step process, but now maybe after the grind, you have a different way of looking at the 5-step process and the way you look at data and data intelligence, right? So would love to hear from all of you. Firstly, we can start with how do you feel right now, and then you can go into, what is your renewed understanding of data. Who wants to go in first?
So, okay, let me go first then, if no one else wants. So, okay, so like when I first understood, when I first heard that I was going to participate in Socratic dialogue, I, to be honest, was at the same time excited and scared, because like, what is this process? It's like it's my it's my first Socratic dialogue in general. Like, I mean, I had one as observer, observed as an observer. Then one first week of work I had worked on, and so it's like only first time when I experienced this event as whole in general. Like, and first time participating myself. So I didn't understand what to do. I walked to the topic, I looked at the presentation, I was like, okay, I've got the concepts. What now? What? So, but now, like, I get not only also like, but with talking with Gaurav and Saurabh, I've got a better understanding of what exactly is expected, and as well as because we were 3 people working on the same topic, we had a lot of opportunities to discuss the concepts once again. For example, we had one experience where we didn't understood what we didn't understood exactly what difference we didn't understand difference between inference and insight. So we spent like half an hour trying to understand, because we weren't able to articulate it to ourselves. Like, I wasn't able to articulate to Gaurav what I meant, and vice versa. So it's like a Socratic dialogue. It's a great opportunity to look on one topic, not from 2, but from 6 different perspectives. So that's amazing. Like I think like you begin to truly appreciate what the experience you have in Socratic dialogue only when you're preparing yourself. Because before that, it's a little bit confusing. Like you see that people are talking, but you don't understand why they're talking. So like right now, it turned out to be much greater the experience than expected, and I'm thrilled that I was able to participate in it. And like I liked how the Socratic dialogue showed to me that not like when we were presenting. When we were making presentation, we thought about this metrics, and we thought, okay, that's enough. But while talking with other people, we were able to see that no, your system is still not great. You need to to add some other things to make it better. So like because like in and. From this Socratic dialogue, I understood not one but 3 topics. Like first, what is Socratic dialogue? Second, what is data intelligence? And third, what is cricket? So 3 at once. So great experience. Thank you for having me in it.
Okay, who's going next?
Yeah, I can go in. I guess like nothing can beat Lisa's reflection. And you guys must have like understood by now how fun I, Gaurav, and Lisa had while preparing for the SD. Yeah, yeah. Like SD, like preparing for the SD is always a like great experience. Like when we sit together, we like these are some new principles that we are introduced to. Like what is data intelligence, what is insights, what is informatics, what is like inference and infrastructure. Like, these were the concepts that we were first introduced to. And as Lisa mentioned, we had like conflict over very like confusion over a lot of topics. Like what does insight actually mean? What does inference is? Right? A difference between them. And one thing I realized is informatics may be the one of the most crucial aspects in the whole like process. Because if you have good matrices, you can drive good insights. And so if you have good insights, you can build a good like what you can say system going forward. So for me, metrics would be one of the most crucial aspects here. And during actual SD, when team Avengers, analytics Avengers were asking questions, I realized that as we always discuss, that AI is not to replace humans, but to assist humans. So when they ask questions, right, like would AI take the decision or would coach or team management take the decision? So it is not either or question; it's and question, right? So that was my first understanding, and then the way analytics Avengers answer the questions about what you can say about their sales intelligence, right? The way Akansha, Nikhil, and Sherin both like all of them answer the question. That was totally great. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let me go. Okay.
Sharon.
Yes.
Wait, I am supposed to go first.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I like to say my heart is beating so fast. And first of all, when I was told that I'll be participating in SD, and we started our preparation since yesterday, and we all thought, like since we all work in the same company, we thought we'll take a project which we are working on, so that if any loopholes or anything which comes up, I mean, whatever, like whenever you guys ask us some questions, so I mean, and if we are not able to answer, then it would help us improve in our project in real life. And but then we thought maybe let's switch to another topic. And then someone said that, it's not about choosing a topic which you know about. It's like, and from that, like we chose sales, and none of us are working in sales directly. And I mean, it was a full learning curve, I would say, like knowing about and data intelligence, informatics, and inferences, like, I mean, all start with I, but all mean very different stuff. And yeah, I mean, one thing, like Saurabh said, that metrics, like that numbers, those numbers are really like, I mean, are like the driving force which can, give insights. So yeah, I mean, I'm still sweating. So yeah, it was a very great experience for me. I mean, from when I used to be in Meta SD, I'd be like, okay, I mean, why they're not able to answer the questions. I mean, it won't be a big deal. For someone who said it's a hot seat, yes, it is really a hot seat.
Gaurav,
Yes. So yeah, as Lisa and Saurabh has already said, it was a very good experience. Like we had a lot of fun. Like I came to know the perfectionist side of Saurabh during this entire preparation. And yes, and we had a lot of fun preparing and discussing. And the topic itself was very informative for me as a data science, and it gave me understanding that how much fundamental is essential. Like we during our work, we're always running for the something that is visible, that is just put in front of us. So now we can go back, reflect on our work, and go for the fundamentals. So these are the learnings that I got from this essay itself. And yes, and I also realized that coming up with questions and matrices for new business, especially cricket, is a very different task. And we're glad that we were able to come up with pretty satisfactory AI system that we can implement in future. Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
Um, we hardly got any time to prepare. That's the truth. And it was so difficult for us to even coordinate the timings and everything. Apart from that, even, I got to learn more about my company in last 24 hours than I did in like 2 months. So definitely the other, how, the factory system works and everything. So I would be able to perform, better because I know the end part of, where things happen. Apart from that, during the preparation, we were in complete panic mode. Here, it was like quite easy, I would say. It wasn't that difficult. And obviously, kind of team here. And throughout the process, I never saw that, although I've been working with the data, so much data every day, but never looked at this perspective, which I got right now. It was only collecting data, processing it to certain point and giving it. But now I know how much meaning I can bring and then could give it to the company rather than just passing on the data. So I think that is something I would want to implement in my work. Thanks.
Yeah, so like Akansha told yesterday, we sat at like late at night, we came and we sat, and then we were like, what we thought is as there were 3 pointers, we thought like we'll pitch in two and Akansha will pitch in one, we'll make a system. Anyways, we guys were doing the same thing in office, so we'll with the questions these guys ask and loopholes they'll find, we'll improve it in our work and we'll actually have a good system to use. But when we came here, like it was all sales and me and Sherin were like clueless, and Akansha then had to teach us whatever she knows and everything. It was great. And when I found out that their pitch was regarding cricket, I was like, okay, now at least half of the part I can somehow manage the questions part. Then yeah, we learned about it. We learned, then we changed. A thought came like we'll change the topic to something related to food, like food delivery app or something like that. Then we were like, no, we'll keep this only. Shawan also came in, we pitched in till late night. Then Tarun came and guided us. It was good. And at the last, like from 3 to 5, what we had today, so like somebody told, I don't know what's I guess, I don't know, somebody told that business, like domain knowledge is important. For the second half, I felt that was true. Like if I had more knowledge on the domain, maybe I could have answered better, is what I felt.
Also, other
Can I?
thing worried us was, me and Shireen don't have any knowledge on cricket. So what question are we going to ask? We were so blank. And we also thought of preparing for that, like more along with our own presentations.
Can I go in? Yeah. I think it was an interesting essay because I believe today it was less of moderation, right? More into autopilot mode, right? So I think Tarun got less chance to interrupt, right? but I believe SD is all about learning, right? We learned something new today, right? Like we were discussing about how AI can help us in making better decisions, right? But we also somehow discovered one more point, right? Like how behavior adds a more layer on top of it, right? We discovered that how leadership style can impact, right? So I think that was a new discovery that we made. Like just AI is not enough. We need a human layer on top of it, right? And I believe in some way, right? Like AI is just a tool, right? It can help us in say better decision making, but I think a human touch is required because we humans are good in making connections, right? We make dots and we make connections. So I think it's a good thing for us that we got to learn this. We got to discover this in this, right? And I also had one question, right? Like, okay, if your AI is just a part in your decision making, right? Then what significance is AI giving to you? Because you also mentioned that your coaches are the someone who can override the decisions, right? So I was like thinking, if your coaches are the one who's taking decision, then why is the AI even required, right? I went to the doubt, but I think at the after the I mean the discussion, I got a clarity that AI is for you to help, not he can override your decisions, right? So I think, yeah, that part got cleared. I mean, without even asking question, I think that part got cleared by observing your discussions, right? So it's a really interesting insight for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go next. So when we think about this data science and all, it is like you just have to get data, visualize data and all, and that is the myths that is all around. But it's bigger than that. This 5I just bring that concept ki data science is not just all about visualization of data and just I would say like collecting data and statistical and mathematical model. It's more than that. It's like you are going to get insight, informatics. This a whole data science would lie around these 5 concepts. So I would say SD is all about fundamentals. It brings that one key understanding towards one fundamental. And one key insight that I got from the discussion, like I really like the concept of nesting of data, like how that leadership and coach thing happen, that how that the players will get like attach or like collaborate with the leaders. So in that, we are not just collecting a data, we are just collecting data over under that data. So that is really great. This is the new thing that I learned.
Thank you, Shagun. I thought Lisa wanted to go for her second installment.
No, I wanted to say something regarding, but I already forgot what I wanted to say. But if you ask already, I just wanted to mention that also that what I understand from preparation to the SD is like data infrastructure was the easiest to explain, but the hardest to implement. For some reason, we spent most of our time trying to understand what infrastructure we want. We explained it easy peasy, like, but implementing the infrastructure was the biggest challenge. And we are all the data, and me and Graf are like half of our team on the data science, and we somehow failed on that part. That was interesting.
Okay, I can see Sharon also laughing quite a bit because I'm sure, right? 4 of you are working on the same problem. Gaurav, I mean, 5 of you, Saurav, Gaurav, Lisa, Sharon, and Nikhil, collecting data when people refuse to give the data. I hope at least after watching the dialogue, people will collaborate and be willing, at least within DT. And Sharon and Nikhil, I hope now you have ideas to make people comply and give you data by making them value data. So by far, this was the best Socratic dialogue of the year for DeepThought, and by far the best with youngsters. I mean, with school students, we've had great dialogues, but this was so amazing. As Shawan said, for a moment, I felt jobless. I was like, okay, fine, I'm taking notes. So, wow. Well done, guys.
Thanks, Tarun.
Thank you.
On the work link.
Thank you.